Hey, you, come here. I got to let you know that the Flophouse is going to be doing a live show on September 18th. That's a Friday night in Louisville, Kentucky at the Whirling Tiger. We're going to be covering the famous box office bomb Glitter, starring Mariah Carey. And we're going to feature special guest Howell Doughty, who's stepping out from behind his producer duties to be part of the show. Tickets are $20, doors at 7, show at 8. Go to thewhirlingtiger.com now.
On this episode, we discuss The Bride.
You mean The Bride?
Okay. Welcome to the Flophouse. I'm Dan McCoy.
I'm Stuart Wellington.
And I'm the guy you've come to know and loathe, Elliot Kalin. That's right, I'm back.
Wow.
You couldn't shake me, losers.
Wow. Fucking heel of
Heel
that.
turn, yeah.
What town are we in right now? Because it sucks.
Oh, wow.
I want them to boo me so that when Stuart defeats me at the end, it's that much more dramatic and exciting. Yeah.
There's a grandma in the audience who's like booing loudly.
Hold on, I have to introduce our guest who's already encouraging Elliot's shenanigans. And that's Kenice Mobley, a stand-up. You may have seen her on The Tonight Show. If not, look it up. She does the hot guy draft.
Google it.
I met her doing Uptown Showdown, where we talked about fashion. I forget which side of it I was on.
Because I think we were on the same side, which means we were pro suits over sweats.
Yes, yeah. Thankfully, that it was an easier thing to me rather than lying about my fondness for sweats. I'm not.
You don't seem like a sweats guy.
No, Audrey does. Since the pandemic, she's like, clothes, why? and the whole time I've been like, no, must put on full outfits.
I'm on your side, Pierre.
Yeah,
what's the only thing keeping me sane?
Well, for the listener at home, just to make it clear, Dan is speaking truth. He is wearing not just a 3-piece suit, but actually a 7-piece suit right now. He's got so many vests. He's wearing spats. He's got those. He's got like those sock garters and things like that. You can see it all. He's wearing a hat. Yeah, he's really dressed up.
I'm wearing a short-sleeved button-up, but it is seersucker, so I am a bit of a fancy lad.
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
Kenice, thank you for being with us.
Thank you for having me. Big fan of the podcast.
Oh, thank you.
That's very nice to
You
say.
saw us during Sketchfest.
I did.
And that was very nice of you to come and see the show.
I was like, it felt sold out to me. And I was like, I'm not going to bother. They have too many fans. I'll sit here. I'll watch the show. I'll text them afterwards. This is lovely.
I'm glad it was lovely.
Yeah.
We watched The
I like
Bride.
that attitude, by the way. That's really impressive. Just be like, I don't want to trouble anybody. It's just, let's chill.
As opposed to
As a Midwesterner, you love that attitude.
Yeah, anything where I can like just be reserved, don't speak up, pretend that I like people. That's very Midwestern of me.
See, as opposed to, I've got East Coast vibes. So it's a lot of like, hey, I like this thing. How do I make myself a part of it so I can claim a piece of it and go from fan to owner? That's not a good attitude to have.
I'm a Southerner, so I'm just like, yo, that's nice. you keep it. That's nice.
A lot of, Lord, it's hot today. Let's just set a while, that kind of
Oh,
stuff.
sweet tea, give it to me.
I'm actually literally drinking unsweetened teas right now. So
watch out. Sour tea.
You just want dirt water? Okay.
Dan here's what he does. He goes to Prospect Park. He just picks a bunch of leaves off the ground, sticks them in some water that a rat was swimming in, and he calls it New York tea. Doesn't want to sweeten it.
Bitterness is sweetness to me, Ellie.
Wow.
We got Bizarro Dan here.
We could have a nice time just making this into a chatting podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Sure, yeah.
But it's
Dan, tell me, what's your body count?
I don't know what that. Oh, I actually do know what that means. I don't want to get into it.
Okay.
You live in Brooklyn. How could you not know what that means?
I'm a sweet lad.
Oh, okay.
See, he's blushing in his 7-piece suit.
Just because it's very hot today. No wonder he's drinking that sour tea. Yeah.
This is a podcast where we watch a movie that was a critical or a commercial flop, and then we talk about it. And I believe this was both. The Bride exclamation.
Mixed critical reviews, very much a financial disappointment, though. Yeah.
It did strike me, the reviews going into it, it felt like for a select few, it was very much their shit. And then for a lot of people, it was, I either hate this or I'm like, they thought it was kind of a swing and a miss.
Yes. I think it's the kind of movie. It's the kind of movie. It's hard for me to imagine Maggie Gyllenhaal, the director of the movie, writer and director of the movie, making this movie and thinking this is my 4-quadrant hit.
Yes,
that's going to establish. This is when they offer me a Marvel movie afterwards.
No, I don't think she wanted that, but it is kind of astounding that the money was given for this, which I'm not saying it shouldn't be. Like,
no, but
I'm just saying in
a
current
very
Hollywood,
big budget for a movie like this.
Wild.
Well, she can bring in stars, and her previous movie, The Lost Daughter, people really liked. I mean, it is really good, and so
And she's I read she just got signed to work on a new movie as writer director. So
I'm glad
this is not.
Oh wow.
This is not.
She's doing the Sabretooth spinoff.
I like her. I don't want her to be marked by this the failure of this movie. I'm glad that she's getting another bite, but this one was not well received in general.
You're being very kind in your words about this. You guys are being so kind.
We like Maggie Gyllenhaal and the other people involved. Yeah. So she is the best thing in the film 40 Days, 40 Nights, which we recently did on the podcast.
Maggie Gyllenhaal is in 40 Days and 40 Nights.
She plays the best friend.
She's the best friend of the female lead of
Shanna Sossaman. I own 40 Days and 40 Nights. I'm so sorry.
Stuart's face just fell.
Why did your face fall so hard?
I hate it so much.
It's Stuart's least favorite movie.
And it didn't impact your youth?
Well, no, I was like in my 20s when it came out, so I don't know if it impacted my youth, but yeah, I mean, it was, I just hate it. I hate everything about it.
Stuart
Ugly Kid Joe.
I think it had a big impact on him. He's very he spent a number of years trying to perfect erotic flower play after that, and he could never get the results. So that love curdled to hate.
But it was FLOUR play, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Dust women with flour.
Wasn't that?
I'm sure there's movies where they
so
do
they won't
that.
Stick.
Yeah, Labor Day, dude.
Oh, right. So let's talk about The Bride, because that's what we're here to talk about. Or as it's typographically listed, The Bride, because there's a big exclamation point at the end. So this is a.
You're on summary duty on this one.
I'm on summary duty. It's
That's
very
great because
summary.
I watched this. I watched this on. This was one of the available in-flight entertainment options on my flight back from Frankfurt, Germany.
Oh.
Now tell us a little bit about your trip.
Thank you, Lufthansa.
Let's delay the start of the show.
I think if I tell people the story of this trip, they would be laughing too hard, and they would have to go to a doctor.
It was
Stuart
like
was
some
telling
sort
us-
of European vacation.
I tell you, before the recording, Stuart said, I have a really funny story to tell you. And I was laughing so hard, I think I tore my esophagus. It was just what he told me.
Normally, Elliot has a much deeper voice.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, my resonant bass that listeners have gotten so used to.
Yeah. Brian
Unfortunately, not
Blessed
gonna get it
Jr.,
here.
they call him.
Well, that's because of the paternity lawsuit. But you guys may remember the press availability that I did, the press statement where I said, I always thought of myself as blessed. I suppose Brian doesn't feel the same way about it.
Yeah, very Ronan Farrow of you.
I call him Brian now and not Papa because of the lawsuit. Yeah. So anyway, let's talk about. Stuart, did you watch it in English or auf Deutsch?
I watched it in English. Yeah, and Charlene watched it. We simultaneously. Do you guys ever do this with your partner when you're flying? You try and start at the exact same time. Yeah.
No.
But she fell asleep.
That's my time.
Yeah. I mean, normally I'm pretty strict about my in-flight entertainment. I read books because I'm like, there's time now, or I will.
But then your glasses break and you go, no, but there was time. I can't get new glasses on the plane. Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe if it's a nice flight. If it's a Snowpiercer.
That's right.
They're optometrists on Snowpiercer.
Yeah.
That's right. Snowpiercer Air would have an optometrist on there. Yeah.
Draw it up. Give me a drawing, somebody. That's how you request fan art.
Yeah.
And
And the art is of you trying on glasses on Snowpiercer. That's what it is. Yeah.
Yes. They're like, oh, that's what a baby looks like. So the
That's what I've been eating all this time.
Oh, God.
He tricked me. Tilda Swinton. If Tilda Swinton fed me a baby, I'd be like, okay, I guess I trust her. So what I was saying is I normally try and watch my own shit, but this time Charlene always wants to watch something with me, and this time we watched The Bride together. She did not watch The Bride the whole way. She fell asleep about 10 minutes in.
She had that privilege.
And then she tried to tell me what she saw, and then I filled in the blanks because she woke up basically right at the end and then was shocked by a very specific musical choice.
Yes.
Specific.
Oh, yeah. Maybe my favorite part of the film.
Yeah, no shit it was.
I assume it's the same one I'm thinking of, in which case the whole time I was like, is she aware that this thing exists already? And then they played that song and I was like, oh, she's certainly aware. Yeah, of course. So ironically, I fall asleep a lot when I'm watching movies at home. This is one of the few movies I did not fall asleep at any point during. So Charlene and I had totally
broken the
opposite
dishes.
experiences.
Yeah.
This one I watched sitting on the couch with my wife, not doing dishes.
Elliot watches movies while he's doing the dishes, which seems
Do you have a
challenging.
TV above your sink?
I have a little
Uses
iPad that I watch.
yeah.
on.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
Interesting.
mean, he's a very busy man, and we force him to do this podcast. So
Yeah.
Force him.
fit it in where
yeah,
It's
they forced
against
me.
his will
I've tried
to
to
do
get
the
out.
podcast.
I tried to change my name. I moved to a cabin in the woods, and then I was out chopping wood one time with a big beard in a puffy coat. And Stuart and Dan drove up in a truck, and I said, "How'd you find me?" They go, "Well,
we need you
Elliot,
for
that's
400 less jobs.
that's a name I haven't heard in a long time." So anyway, we start in there. There's some text on the screen in black and white. It says in 1888. Sorry, not 1888. In 1818. In 1818, Mary Shelley wrote Frankenstein on a dare, which is not totally true. It was kind
Not
of a
exactly.
storytelling,
More of a game.
contest
Yeah.
game. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to be
Guys,
near.
we don't get into fucking storytelling contest games enough, right?
No.
No,
Well,
Everybody's
it's,
just
you know,
D&D'ing it up and shit.
television, the internet.
There's too much
It's
other
rare.
stuff to do.
It's rare that we and our libertine friends are stuck by bad weather in a villa on Lake Geneva. That doesn't happen that often, you know. I'm going to be in the Geneva
could,
area
yeah.
in just like a
If we
week.
changed our lives, we could.
Yeah,
we lived a little differently. Come on, guys.
I'm gonna be in the Geneva area in like a week for work, and I'm very disappointed that I'm not gonna have the time to go see the villa where that storytelling contest happened and where Mary Shelley first started writing Frankenstein. Because I really want to see it.
Isn't it wild that one of these dudes is just named Lord Byron? That's
Well, I mean,
crazy.
his name is George. His name is George. I mean, he is Lord Byron, but,
Like, what?
but he has the name.
That's crazy.
So anyway, he's not in this movie, but Mary Shelley is played. This is one of the two roles played by Jessie Buckley, and I will say I'm going to give a spoiler ahead of time. I overall pretty much like this movie, but these
I'm
parts
softer on this thing than I thought I would.
yeah, but these parts with Mary Shelley are the one thing in the movie
Do
that
not
really do
work.
not work for me.
Well,
yeah.
It begs the question, why?
Yes,
Well,
and so let me tell you, because the concept is Mary Shelley tells us that Frankenstein was only half the story. She couldn't write the rest of it because she died, and she spent centuries in kind of limbo trying to get the rest of the story told. She goes, is it a ghost story or a love story? And what this sets us up for is a world where Frankenstein is a story, whereas we get a world where Frankenstein is a real person who exists, and yet Mary Shelley is also a person who exists and wrote a book called Frankenstein. And they
That's
never really
confusing.
tie this knot. You know?
It's also awfully ballsy for a movie to be like, this is what Mary Shelley would have written if she'd lived longer. And by the way, it's going to be twice the scary shit that thing was.
I will say that, except she is. So I think what Maggie Gyllenhaal's trying to do is play off of the opening of Bride of Frankenstein, which opens with Mary Shelley and Percy Shelley and Lord Byron. And Lord Byron goes, "That's Frankenstein's story you told us was so scary." And she goes, "Well, there's more." And then she starts telling the story of that movie. So I think Maggie Gyllenhaal's very much playing off of what happens in Bride of Frankenstein. But in that movie, it's entirely a story Mary Shelley is telling. There's no part where Mary Shelley is interacting with the characters, which happens throughout this.
Possessing a person,
Yeah. So then we're in the 1930s. We're in a restaurant. There's a woman named
A
Ida.
restaurant that is 100% Gage and Tollner in Brooklyn, New York. There's no question. And the funny thing is this scene does feature some oyster issues. And I got to say, I got fucking food poisoning from an oyster there, so I
I feel like this
Wow.
is
There's no
verging
question.
on libel or slander, whichever one is the.
all he was telling you is
spoken-
all he's saying is what actually happened.
just the facts, Dan.
But you weren't possessed by the spirit of an author.
I feel like
No.
this is
I mean, I've
actionable.
been back there multiple times. I think it's a nice restaurant. Maybe because George R. R. Martin was buying me dinner, I liked it a lot. But
What?
yeah. Did I drop that name? Let me pick it back up.
That's
but,
the entire
so-
reason that Stuart brought this up.
But this, I mean, it's 100% Gage and Tollner, and also this scene does feature a friend of a friend, indie darling John Magaro, who's friends with a friend of mine. So I can't say anything bad about him. But
Okay.
he's not bad. He's good. He's good in it.
Which one is he?
He's the date.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's the guy
The
who
one-
looks kind of sad.
He's the one who
Who turns
the one
into an
who-
who turns
yeah,
into an
he's the
assassin
assassin,
later.
yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
I mean, I won't say anything bad about any of the actors in this. Honest, I don't think that they're the issue with the film.
Yeah.
Like
No,
they're
I think-
all
Everyone's trying.
committing and-
Everyone's trying hard. So they're in this
Yeah.
restaurant. There's a woman named Ida, also played by Jessie Buckley, and Mary Shelley starts to possess. She's like, "I'm going to possess this woman's body," and it's this drunken dinner. She's with these really douchey guys, and suddenly she starts convulsing. And Mary Shelley is entering her mind, and she starts climbing on the table and rambling. And she does a thing which I do not love during the movie, where now in Mary Shelley voice, she's just free associating words. You'd think I'd love this because I do it all the time. But it
Yes,
turns
yeah.
out that it's
Weird.
annoying me as much as I prefer to annoy other people.
I mean,
you
you're
know?
also doing it for comedy purposes, and here, look, I think that this culture should hold up intellectualism a little bit more than it does, rather than scoff at it.
You would think that egghead.
Yeah. Have you ever seen The Big Bang Theory? Those dudes are hilarious.
And thus I hate when something's called pretentious, because most of the time I feel like that's just like people not wanting to engage with a thing and being like, this is too uppity for me, essentially. But I find this pretentious. All of
It's the kind of thing that I
Mary
think
Shelley.
it's the kind of thing I think I would buy. I would accept more in a play than in a movie.
Yes.
And I can't quite put my finger except that I think I expect a certain level of pretentiousness from the theater that I am less willing to take from a movie. But she's really scaring people. She seems particularly angry at a gangster who's sitting nearby, who we learn more about later. And the guys she's with are like, "Hey, stop it!" And they hit her, and then they push her down a flight of stairs. And in voiceover,
So one of the guys was on. Okay, go on.
I was just
Our
say,
flag
in-
means death.
Yes, that's what I was going to
Oh,
say.
okay.
And
Then you
the,
say
the
that. That's
evil
better than what I
gangster
was saying.
is the evil gangster is the guy from Triangle of Sadness
Oh, I didn't
And
know that.
Superman.
and Superman.
He plays
Yeah.
Superman.
He played Superman.
He plays Superman. No, he plays the Baravian
right. No,
leader.
you're right.
Yes.
You're right.
He's also in Wonder Man as
Oh, yeah,
a
that's
famous
where
director. Yeah.
I know him from
Oh,
Wonder
I haven't,
Man.
I haven't seen either of those yet. I'll have to watch them at some point. In voiceover, she says a revolution is coming that will really frighten you. But Ida is dead at the bottom of the stairs. Then it's daytime Chicago. There's a masked man who is clearly Frankenstein, played by Christian Bale, or Frankenstein's
Shouldn't
monster.
he be Frank? Yeah, okay, I was like, we
yeah.
keep calling him Frank, but come on, guys.
It's
Yeah,
great.
Well,
that's-
he says, my name's Frank. Frankenstein's monster if you're nasty. And then he shows up.
Monster.
He shows up to see Dr. Euphonius, played by Annette Bening. And,
Star of the Great Outdoors, Annette Bening.
star of the Great Outdoors, yep. And this is where things start to. So he's like, "I'm here to see Dr. Euphonius," and she's like, "I don't know," da da da. And then she reveals, "I'm actually Dr. Euphonius." So they do a little, "Oh, the doctor was a woman" moment. But then it's
That's a
weird
reoccurring theme.
because she's like, "Oh, I've read all of Dr. Frankenstein's books. I'm familiar with his work." And this is another moment where I'm like, "Wait, so Frankenstein is famous in this world? Like people are familiar with the story because it's and maybe this is just they're famous scientists who other people have not heard of, which is fine. Like there are plenty of people who don't know who Richard Feynman is, and he's a relatively famous scientist. But like there are parts throughout where I'm like, do people know what Frankenstein's monster is in this movie, or do they not know what Frankenstein's monster is? Because everyone's aware there are monsters, but he should be famous. It should be like in the X-Men comics when Wolverine shows up places, and they're like, "You're Wolverine from the X-Men." Like he's famous at this point.
And this is I gotta say, this is the sort of levels of reality thing that I know we offer this kind of non-critique all the time, but if everything else in the movie was working, I wouldn't be thinking about it. But it's not. So I'm like, okay, what's the reality here? Where are we in time and space and between fiction and reality.
We're also very early in the movie, and so there isn't enough movie yet for me to grab onto. So I'm worrying about this stuff. So Dr. Euphonious examines Frankenstein's scars. She wants him to stay at her institute, but he's never had a physical relationship. He says the first time he ever shook hands was when he shook hands with Dr. Euphonious minutes ago. So it's a real Elephant Man type situation.
It's been like 100 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what do
he
you
looks
think?
pretty normal.
Yeah. I mean, he doesn't.
He looks like a guy who's been in a really bad.
I mean, he's
car
got a
accident.
mask on. I mean, I think he could have.
Yeah.
If he wanted to shake hands, he could be shaking hands.
Of course, to a
He could be
liberal
out there
like you,
shaking hands.
a liberal
Let's-
like you who's afraid of COVID, masks are normal. But to someone like me, I'm like, why is that guy wearing a mask? I don't
Let's
understand.
put him on the scale of, on one end of the scale, we have Darkman. That's probably as gross as you can be and still be the hero. Versus
It's okay,
like
still be the
Ryan
hero, 'cause I'm
Reynolds
like, I've seen
Deadpool,
grosser
where you're
guys
like,
with
Ryan
yeah.
Reynolds Deadpool, you're like, yeah, you look fine. You look like
he could
Midwestern
walk
Ryan
around.
Reynolds. Yeah.
I
Like
think
they
he is-
make a point of saying how gross he looks, but he's still like it still looks like Ryan Reynolds, right?
I think
like
with Frankenstein, it's the noticeable stitches on the forehead and things like that.
true.
He looks
and
like
his,
a guy who's been
his
pieced together.
nose it looks like it's been broken a few times.
He
Yeah,
looks
but
like he's a
like-
boxer. He looks like an
Yeah.
ex-boxer. Yeah.
Again, if anything, stitches suggest to me like, oh, this is a man with a medical issue rather than this is a monster.
Yeah. He doesn't
Maybe
do
he was
much,
a snitch.
and he's also maybe this is a matter of the way they shoot. Like Frank, he doesn't feel as enormous as
Right.
the monster does. Like in the old Frankenstein movies, Boris Karloff looks so much huger than anybody else. You know.
I mean, Jacob Elordi 5 months before this is
Yeah.
Frankenstein, and you're like, whoa, he's big. But this monster is Christian Bale height.
I will say though that Jacob Elordi is big, but he is also hot Frankenstein. So when people are like, "Kill it," I'm like, I don't understand. He just looks like a hot dude. I don't understand.
Yeah.
So he's unless those guys, maybe those hunters in the Game of
jealous.
Frankenstein, they're like that man's hotter than we'll ever be. Destroy him, or women will know that they can have him instead of us.
All the women around are going to pick him. Like, what women? We're at the Arctic. There might be some
the Arctic women.
later.
Those are walruses.
And he's like so skinny. Like when you have visible abs like that, he doesn't have enough body fat to survive out in the wilds of Antarctica.
No, that's for sure. He's definitely he should have died of malnutrition. But again, also he's pieced together by corpses, and if you shoot him, nothing happens.
Oh,
And
fuck. Yeah, he's magic.
who
I
knows?
forgot.
He's magic. There is a.
I thought he
there
was. I thought he was regular. My mistake.
No. There is a point in that movie where it's like, wait, so if because he died once already, I guess he's like immune to things that would kill a normal
Yeah.
person. Like I don't understand.
I was like,
you know?
I wasn't aware that Frankenstein's monster had these superpowers.
Yeah, it
What
seems like it would
I
be-
mean, I love Del Toro, but sometimes he gets into that shit.
yeah. It seems like it would be easier to kill Frankenstein because like he's just held together with stitching. So like you'd feel like a few
Snip,
well-placed gunshots. Just sneak up on him with his pair of scissors. Yeah. So he's like, I want a physical relationship. I want a bride. I want you to build me one. He's also obsessed with movie musicals, specifically the movie musicals of an actor named Ronnie Reed, where the idea is that Ronnie Reed was an actor who had polio and had to accommodate for that to become a famous dancer. And he's played by Jake Gyllenhaal. And the whole time I'm like, how did they get Jake Gyllenhaal for this movie?
Yeah.
Like, he's a big star. How did they get him in this film? So he's constantly going to the movies and watching these old musicals, and he imagines himself in the movies. And this was when I was watching this with my wife, and she was like, You're seeing Frankenstein in a top hat and tails dancing, and she's like, does Maggie? All I can think about is Young Frankenstein. Like, does Maggie
Yeah.
Gyllenhaal know Young Frankenstein exists? And then later on, they sing "Putting on the Ritz," and you're like, okay, she definitely knows that Young Frankenstein
Yeah.
exists. Like,
Yeah.
there's no way. And I actually
Could be a
came,
coincidence.
and it really threw me. But by the end, I came to really like it because it seemed to me like she was like, oh, that scene in that movie is a joke of how awkward the character is. I'm going to give him grace. I'm going to give him a level of dignity that he doesn't have in that scene, which I thought was kind of cool. But anyway, that wasn't until later. Anyway, he walks by some sort of red light district. Frankenstein he's not comfortable around sin, you know. Dr. Euphonious, she's got issues with the different methods of corpse survival that they're going to try to figure this out. They're on board. Frank wears down her resistance. Next thing you know, they're digging up the body of that same woman, Ida, that Mary Shelley possessed. And it makes you wonder, has Mary Shelley just been sitting in that dead body underground for like days now? I don't
Any
know.
moment now.
Yeah.
Any moment now, because she's read the script. She knows she'll get, like in the Muppet movie, she knows she'll get dug up.
Yeah.
So, and Frank is like, no, she's too beautiful. But we'll try it anyway.
I kind of like that moment where he's like, she's too beautiful. Because, like, I don't know, like, yeah.
What's the
His
thing that happens?
self-esteem is low.
That he's like, his self-esteem's low. And also maybe he's like, I don't know, he looks clearly like a monster and she does not. And I think that, I don't know.
She looks like she spilled some ink on her face.
Yeah.
I mean, she's still undead, right? Like we're
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, we don't know. I mean, we don't know the degree to which
I mean,
there's
if-
an
if-
odor.
okay.
If Jesse Buckley showed up at a red carpet dressed like this, people would be like, she is serving.
Mm.
Yes, yeah, sure. She's serving bride realness. Yeah.
Yeah.
If it was but also I think, again, this is a play, I think, on the end of Bride of Frankenstein, where they finally revive the bride, and the first time she sees Frankenstein, she screams. She's like, "I don't want this. This is not anything I'm interested in right
Yeah.
now."
Yeah.
So but they're trying to do this experiment. Meanwhile, the doctor's maid, Greta, is suspicious, and I kept thinking they were setting up Greta to be a bad guy, but it never quite happens.
No.
Nope.
They do the
Sort of a
experiment.
minor comic figure.
Yes. And then later on, kind of an ally. We'll see.
Yeah.
Eventually, everyone's just putting ink on their face.
Yep.
They do the experiment. It works. They revived her. My wife went, it seemed pretty easy. she was not impressed by how easy it was to revive the dead. She coughs up a bunch of black blood, and that's how she gets that stain on her face. And then she laughs. Then she goes back and forth, as she will throughout the movie, between her two accents, Chicago Mall, Ida, and British Mary Shelley, who rambles lists of words. And she's wary of them.
At some undetermined point midway through the movie, she kind of stops doing it entirely.
The Mary
And I
Shelley
don't
stuff.
think, yeah, the Mary Shelley stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's because there's a thematical moment that I did not catch, or they just forgot about it.
It's
Well, then she
or-
comes back at the end, like as if like reemerging, like the Hulk, to take vengeance.
That's true. I mean, Mary Shelley has often been compared to the Hulk. You know, so I mean,
I mean,
ironically, the
certainly
Hulk
a
was.
literary Hulk.
I mean,
like,
the Hulk
you know.
was. I mean, the Hulk as a character was heavily influenced by Frankenstein, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Frank is in love at first sight. And the bride is asking Euphronius about Frank, and Frank imagines himself tap dancing in a movie. This will happen throughout the movie. Is Frank imagining himself into being a tap dancer in a Fred Astaire type movie? And Mary Shelley is talking to the bride in her head as the bride floats above her body one night, and she's like, "I can't remember my name." And she wakes up on the operating table. Frank is sleeping on the floor, and he wakes up.
I kind of like that sequence.
Yeah, he hits her by accident. But then he does a little dance routine for her,
Yeah.
and she lists more words. And they're
He
coming.
hits her
Yeah,
Yeah.
he does.
after he was locked out of her room for a reason, but he broke
He
into
broke into
her
the
room.
window. Yeah.
He sleeps under her bed, and then she wakes up and he hits her. It's
Yeah.
you're a great start to a relationship.
I
Yeah,
do
I
think
think the
that
thing
this
to remember is
movie-
they are also reanimated corpses. So there's already,
Yeah.
so they're operating by
But
different rules, I guess.
I
Yeah.
will say this movie, for all that it wants to be like a feminist reimagining, feels oddly soft on Frankenstein's monster to me, considering like the thing about the Bride of Frankenstein is like they go through all this trouble, and as you say, she's reanimated. She's like, no, I don't want that. What? You can't she's only in the very end of the movie, so the feminist like impact of it is maybe a little dimmed in that she's such a small part of her own picture, but it is her being like, hey, you can't just invent me to be a wife. Whereas this one, she kind of like seems into it by the end, even after she's well, okay, you did lie to me about all this stuff.
I think I would say that's not it. I mean, he wins her over, and then they have a relationship, and they have a messy relationship, and I think that's
when you
different
say
than,
he wins her over just by like,
well, no, because even when
there,
I mean, there's a little bit of he's the man in the movie, and he must have a soft heart, and so I mean, because the doctor, I guess, gave him too soft a heart. You know, he had Stallone's disease. That's going back to an earlier episode where his heart is literally too soft and his blood is too hard. Yeah, so
I mean, he's a gentle monster. He is eventually respectful to her and protective, but I do think it's weird that they pull that switch in a movie that's, I think, trying to be like, this is going to be about women. I don't know.
I think the difference is that he is consistently supportive of her and everything she does.
Yes.
And rather than he has created her for himself, but rather than trying to change her, he changes himself in more ways than she changes.
Yes.
Like whenever she does
a
anything,
reverse
he's like
Grease.
Kind of, yeah. It is a reverse
Well,
grease.
and he doesn't-
in that it's
yeah,
not,
he doesn't
it's not
try and
oily.
hold her back
it
at
actually
any
makes things
point.
drier and less slippery. Yeah.
It's like a chalk or something.
Yeah, exactly. Some people call it chalk. I call it reverse grease. Yeah. I put it on my hands when I do my gymnastics routines. I say,
People
hand me
are
the reverse
so
grease.
confused. I go into the art store. Can you give me some reverse grease? What?
Yeah. The sticks of reverse grease so I can draw on the
Sir,
yard
please
of the
leave.
sidewalk.
Officer, where were the dead bodies found? Oh, you can see the outline drawn in reverse grease.
Now I'm also thinking reverse Grease is also the bizarro version of Grease, where you're not the one that I want, doobop, but you're gonna ooh, yeah. And they were actually born to not hand jive. It's the one thing I cannot do. It'd be very dangerous for me. Yeah.
Beauty school graduate.
And of course, reversed Grease, lightning. Yeah. So I think that's the difference here. But I agree. It starts on shaky ground. They have breakfast, and the bride keeps saying, "I would prefer not to everything." And it annoyed me so much that at first they misattribute who wrote that. I'm like, Melville. It's Melville. Come on, Melville. Come on, guys. And but the bride starts breaking dishes because she wants to leave. She's just like very casually breaking the dishes. Frank loves it. And they sneak out and they go to the movies. Frank mansplains about Ronnie Reed, the star of the movie tour. And she leads him to...
It's like his one fucking thing, dude. Let him...
Yeah, he loves that.
He has like nothing else.
No, but I'm just saying it's a bad idea to give guys the idea that women really want you to take them to the movies and then talk through the movie explaining the backstories of the people in the movie. Nobody wants that. Nobody likes it. I learned from experience.
Differently, this is a horror film wherein a lady's just minding her own business and then Mary Shelley ruins her life. Yes, that's the movie.
That's very possible. She was having a great time at a dinner eating oysters.
I believe Peter Sarsgaard gives us a different picture of her.
That's true. That's true. How did they get
Peter Sarsgaard, our fucking sandwich enthusiast.
Sandwich enthusiast. But again, Peter Sarsgaard was like, how are they getting these big stars? I don't understand.
Yeah.
I mean, what are they? Anyway.
What connection possible it could?
Reminds me of the story of when I was walking down Atlantic Avenue once, and Peter Sarsgaard and Maggie Gyllenhaal were walking in the opposite direction towards me and my wife, and it was clear that they were in the situation all couples have been in, which is you are on your way to a social event, you have just had a fight, and you are kind of still mad at each other, but you have to leave to be on time to this thing. And I was like, they really are like us, celebrities. Like they've gone through those things too. But you could just read it on their faces. It was so clear. It was like, we just had an argument. We have to be somewhere. We're just going to let it sit for now. And I really appreciated it. Anyway, Frank said, so anyway.
Thanks, Peter and Maggie.
For that moment. They go to like a queer dance club, and she dances, and Frank imagines them dancing. There's a lot of dancing in this movie. And the bride sees herself in a mirror, and she's got this all black tongue, and she's dancing some more while Frank's watching. And
he's like, she's dancing with dudes, and he's like, whatever, I just want her to be free.
Exactly.
He's like, into it.
Well, there's a little bit of Kuckenstein in him too. I think he likes to see her, with other guys. But the other guys, they are being too rough. They're these kind of like gangster types. They're being too rough. They're being too handsy and assaultive. And the bride shouts something about violence, and the gangsters attack her. But Frank takes her away. The gangsters follow and attack them, and Frank kills both of them and smashes their heads open. He just kicks one guy's head right open. But someone takes their picture, and they run away. Yep. And it's one of the things where it's like such a clear case of self-defense, but they're monsters. They know they're going to get blamed. Yeah.
Also, they didn't take... There was just conveniently a camera person sitting there while she was about to be assaulted.
Yeah, and this is the 30s. Yeah. Those cameras are not that easy to use. Like, you got to be ready and waiting. Maybe they're the paparazzi there to catch monsters.
Wasn't it Penelope Cruz who took the picture? I thought that was...
Who sold it to the paper?
Well, no. I mean, when she shows up later, the secretary.
I did not catch that.
I didn't. If that's the case, I didn't catch it.
Let me look it up. You guys keep talking.
Okay.
Anyway, the Frank and the bride, they go on the run. The bride and Mary Shelley.
And he also, like, at this point, Frankenstein's like, look, I've been through this before. People are going to chase my ass with pitchforks and torches.
Yeah.
He's like, go on, get.
Yeah, he tries to pull a Harry and the Hendersons on her.
Yeah.
It doesn't work.
And she's like, well, where am I going to go? And he's like, okay, you can come with me.
I can't confirm. It's probably wrong.
Yeah, she's like, I don't know where I live, dog.
I don't have a name. I can't wash this spot off my face. Like, come on.
It looks cool, though.
Of course it looks cool. Yeah.
I mean, think so.
She makes it look cool. So the bride and Mary Shelley have a talk about how the bride needs to remember her name. And they hop a freight train. The cops are searching for him. Unfortunately, and Frank starts telling the bride stories about her life before she died. He's like making up a past history for her. And throughout the movie, it was unclear to me how much she by the end, she's like, "You lied to me," but it seems like she's playing this game with him to a certain extent. But anyway, she starts doing a Marlene Dietrich impression really loudly, which draws the cops' attention, and the bride has to push. He's about to shoot Frankenstein, so
nothing draws a cop's attention like a Marlene Dietrich
He's like,
impression.
"Oh, is the German chanteuse here? Is the Blue Angel here in the train with us? The most famous legs in the world?" She has to push the cop out, and he hits his head on something. People in movies are always hitting their heads fatally when you push them on things. I have never seen this happen in real life, thankfully.
Well, how many people have you pushed, Elliot?
I live in a house with 2 boys, so they're constantly pushing each other. And it would be terrifying if I thought every time they push each other, they might hit their head and die instantly. It happens
I think
in movies
about this all the time.
Really?
Really?
Since I was a kid and I watched 6 Feet Under with my family, a kid is jumping
Family
on the
viewing,
bed.
if ever there was.
Yes.
Yeah.
A kid
It's a
jumps,
show about a family.
Sure, yeah.
but a kid falls off the bed, hits his head, dies. And I was like, well, that's it. That's how I'm going to go. And so now I'm like, if I hit my head or if I fall in any way, I'm like, this is it.
But look how far you've come.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's
It
not
was
why
an
you
important lesson.
That's why you put out that line of helmets for people. That people probably know you best from Kenice's head protectors, which are what they do. What I like about it is they're bespoke. Is that you go to the head protector store, they measure your head. And they give you a bespoke helmet that fits your head. Means you can't share them, but that's okay.
I like that
Prescription helmets, they call them.
she
Prescription
named them
protection.
Head protectors rather than helmet, a word that already exists
You can't
that you've
trademark
been
the word
using.
helmet. Can't trademark
I
it.
see.
No.
Yeah,
The band
Okay.
Helmet tried and failed.
they did. Yeah, they couldn't do it. Yeah, exactly. And also, Helmut Kohl tried
Yep.
to.
Thank you. Yep.
Lang?
Helmet Lang, yeah.
there's
Yeah. There's a lot of helmets out there.
a lot
So
of
anyway,
examples. A
So
lot
now
of great
they're
picks.
now they're really on the run, and we're introduced to our new characters, detectives Wiles and Malloy. This is Peter Sarsgaard and Penelope Cruz. Wiles is the detective. Malloy is technically a secretary, but she's the one who really comes up with all the
they've got-
brilliant deductions.
they've
But
got
she's
like
a woman, so
A
no one can
Remington
trust her.
steel arrangement kind
Yes,
of going on.
Very much so, yeah. They're on Frank's trail. Meanwhile, Frank gets in a fountain and collects pennies. And I guess that they're in New York now, it turns out.
Yeah.
And the bride sees a newspaper story about them, and he tells her old name was Penelope Rogers, which she doesn't love. So she says, "Call me Penny," instead. "Call me Pretty Penny." And she starts giving Frank a blowjob, but he does not want it. And it brings to mind a question that I think Stuart was probably asking.
Yeah.
Like the Castle Freak, what is the situation with Frankenstein's penis?
Yeah, I want to see that. I
Yeah.
want to see that crank.
As we know, so young Frankenstein would have us believe that he has an amazing penis, but it's not really
Yeah.
touched on and probably fleshed
Well,
for
because
Frankenstein. Also,
they had their
but-
choice. Like they didn't have to settle with whatever God.
I mean, they had their choice of who was recently buried in an Eastern
Yes.
European cemetery. I don't know.
Yeah,
That's the
but-
best place to go dick shopping. Do you? Maybe I don't know.
I mean, apparently.
There was a good selection that day.
Yeah.
But Frank doesn't want it. He pushes her away. Meanwhile, the detectives are investigating, and we learn their relationship that she's the real detective. She's the
Yeah.
sheriff, whereas he is kind of the face
Again,
who takes advantage of that.
He's
yeah.
a sandwich enthusiast. He's the one who will distract he'll charm the local cops while she does the actual work.
Yes. And Frank she's with the bride. They're on the run. He assures her that the man from the train is fine, the one that she killed. And they go to the movies. He steals a pretzel for her and says that pretzels were her favorite. And they go see a movie that is kind of White Zombie and kind of not. Like
Yeah.
it has footage from White Zombie.
He wants to go to a dance movie, but she's already seen that one, so she takes
Yeah.
him to a zombie movie.
And they're all wearing 3D glasses. And there's a couple in front of them where the man is very loudly pressuring the woman to have sex with him, I guess, in the theater.
In a crowded
And-
theater.
in a very crowded theater. They're jostling people next to them. And the bride steps in, and the man calls her a monster. But I wasn't sure what she did that was particularly monstery there. I guess, again, there's the thing. I guess it's at this point, people can just tell by looking at them they're monsters. The audience chases them out as a mob, and the detectives follow. The detectives there too. And the bride, this one, the bride says, "Call me Penny. I want to be called Penny." They escape into a fancy soiree where this was the funniest part of the movie to me. They both pretend to be waiters by picking up trays,
Yeah.
even though she is wearing a torn dress and has ink all over her face, and her hair is wild. He is wearing this mask, but you can still
he
see
flips
that
his coat inside out.
he flips his coat inside out so you can see the filthy inside of it. Like that's going to make
Yeah.
him seem like more of a waiter. It's a
Yeah.
But it works for a little bit. But who's at this
It's
party?
it shows how little regard rich people have for the servant
help.
class.
I guess that makes sense. And they're just stealing things. He's just taking shrimp and stuffing it in his pocket, which is a hilarious way to carry shrimp.
I don't want to.
So gross.
I don't want to tip my hand about my reaction to this movie, but if all of the scenes had been more like this scene, I think I would have liked this movie a lot more. Especially considering that it ends in them like somehow dance bewitching the crowd.
Yes. So it helps that Ronnie Reed is there. Oh my God, Ronnie Reed, Jake Gyllenhaal himself, and Frankenstein is so overcome. He tells Ronnie, "I saw you in vaudeville." What? How'd they get him?
How'd they get Jake?
How'd they get the Jakester? There's no way of knowing. He tells Ronnie,
maybe had a day break from filming Roadhouse, and he just came over.
Probably just came over from Roadhouse.
He probably just came over. I mean, he looks nothing like he does in Roadhouse. He looks half the size that he did in Roadhouse. Maybe they just deflated him for the day and then reinflated him in Roadhouse.
Jesus Christ. We're watching the same movie? I gotta say, so Frank shows up and he interrupts Ronnie and he is like overcome.
He's starstruck. Yeah.
And he's starstruck. And I gotta say, I love this performance from Christian Bale. His like level of freaking out starstruckness. I have seen people do this, and it's like so wild.
It feels like he's really he must be drawing from experiences he's had where people have been like this. Yeah. But what were you going to say, Stu?
And Jake and like the Ronnie Reed, like, you know, he takes it and then he's obviously put off by it. But I feel like he isn't as big of an asshole as he could have been.
Yeah, there's a version of this definitely where he's like a total asshole, whereas this one he's just kind of like, I don't know what to do right now.
Yeah.
I'm looking up right now. So the movie they go to see is Revolt of the Zombies, which I have not seen, but it uses footage from White Zombie. So that's why that shot of Bela Lugosi, I was like, that's from White Zombie.
Thanks for closing that circle.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I just didn't want anyone to write in about it because it would have been a waste of their time. Frank Christian Bale does a really great job here of presenting a guy who wants to make an emotional connection with a celebrity so badly and does not recognize that it's not going the way he wants it to. He's like, I survived because of you. And Ronnie brushes him off. He's like, well, yeah, you're not my type. And Frank goes into this dance, and that's when they dance to Putting on the Ritz. He and the bride are dancing. The party goers all start dancing. Big dance number. I really like this dance number. There's a lot of good stuff here.
Audrey came in for just like this scene, basically. And she's like, how are they doing this to people? I'm like, I don't know, man. They're just overcome.
Dan dancing along with them. Like, I don't know.
It's just a thing that happened.
Yeah.
And he's like, you're like, well, this is also a world where Mary Shelley is a real person and Frankenstein is a real person. So and then Audrey was like, oh, like in Don Quixote. And you're like, yeah, I guess so. Whatever.
Shut up about Don Quixote.
You're always telling me about Don Quixote.
This is like Don Quixote. Great. Fine.
In the second part of the book, people are reading Don Quixote and they're talking to Don Quixote about having read his book about him. Anyway, so
trying to shame me about only reading the first half of Don Quixote.
Every night, Audrey's like, "Hey, Dan, I had a question for you. What happens in the second part of Don Quixote?" And he's like, "Shut up! Stop lording it over me!" Tips over a table. Yeah. So the audience from the movie and all the detectives enter. The bride recognizes Detective Wiles from her old life. And Frank
he
fights the
definitely
cops.
recognizes her.
Yeah, and the bride gets a gun and puts Ronnie Reed at gunpoint, and she's like, you got to go get this mob boss, Lupino. He kills women and cuts their tongues out. And I'm like, this is a weird way to introduce this new information.
It's weird.
With very little, we mentioned, this was the mob boss that Ida mentioned much earlier, but otherwise he has not been an element in this movie up till now.
It is one of the strangest things to me that this movie about the bride is also a movie, is also a mob movie.
Yeah.
Like I was like, why is this what this became?
Because it's in the 30s, so it's also the mob.
Yeah.
I mean, it would either going to be that, or it was going to bring in Marcel Duchamp's monumental landmark work, The Bride Stripped Bare by Her Bachelor's Eve, also known as The Large Glass.
It had to do one of those two things.
It had to do one of those things. I thought they went with gangsters instead of really engaging with the work of, I'm just going to say it, the most important artist of the 20th century. If you want to engage with it, there's a big retrospective of his work at the Museum of Modern Art right now. I saw it when I was in New York last weekend. I highly recommend it.
Yeah.
It's sponsored by my interest in Marcel Duchamp. Anyway, so she starts accusing the men in the room of attacking women. She seems to be able to see things that they have done in their past to women, and she's channeling these angry dead women. And this is an idea that I wish the movie had done more with. The idea that all the wronged dead women of the world are now rushing through the bride to try to get justice, but that it kind of is dropped a little bit. She shoots a cop. Frank tears down a chandelier, very Phantom of the Opera. That's a different monster. They escape in the chaos, and Frank is like, I loved it. That was so impressive. And she feels guilty. He's like, no, you're great. And they start making out, but then Wiles shows up, and they run away smiling. Then this is when Frank and the bride go on a kind of like sex and movies and driving spree. And in another movie, this would have been a crime spree, but they really just seem to be driving and having sex. Yeah. There's a, so it's just a long montage of them doing that. Frank gets a tattoo. They take more pennies from fountains. That's apparently how. I mean, the 30s, you could do that. You could fund your life by pennies from fountains. And Dr. Euphronius is aghast to discover that women are dressing as the bride and rioting as what they call a brain attack revolution. Earlier, the bride said, this is a brain attack.
I do kind of love that. Brain attack is a really funny thing to shout.
She goes, brain attack, this is a brain attack. And so they're all like, yeah, this is a brain attack.
Yeah, that's what fucking Professor X says when he starts blasting.
He goes, brain attack.
He wheels from behind a corner. You didn't expect this brain attack.
Magneto's like, fuck.
Well, that's
fuck
like when
this guy again with the brain attack shit.
Who's saying that exactly?
Magneto. Magneto says that shit. He's like,
I got a helmet to protect me from your brain attacks.
He's like, I survived the fucking camps for this.
Whoa.
I didn't write the backstory.
That is his backstory. That's true. Yeah. So it's the same way that in England, instead of an idea, they call it a brainwave, and I'm like, that always seems like they're like, oh, I just got a brainwave, and I'm like, that sounds way cooler than it actually is. You know?
Yeah.
You just got an idea. So so this is another thing that's kind of happening way in the background, but you'd think would be a bigger part of the movie, is the fact that women all across America are essentially rebelling against male society because of the bride's example. But the bride is not really engaged in it. Again, she and Frank are just in this more Frankenstein, you could call it. And so
I feel like this is another example. This movie has a number of these moments and ideas where it feels like the filmmaker had like an idea that she wanted to present a feminist theme or whatever. And the rest of the movie doesn't really support it. Like, there's not enough like stuff laid in there. There's just like, hey, we had this big idea we want to champion, but there's not enough like groundwork laid. It feels in a lot of ways, it feels, I hate to say it, but it feels fairly an immature handling of the ideas.
It feels kind of a little messy and a little disorganized. But so
and it could all be cut out of the movie without affecting the movie.
Yes,
that's
like
true
the
too.
feminist stuff. Like it could simply like when later like the tongues getting cut out, all that stuff. You could just simply snip it out. It'd be a shorter and maybe better movie.
Maybe, perhaps. Although I think, but my argument would be to like increase that stuff. Like that's more interesting to me than Frankenstein and because eventually what happens, we'll walk through it.
Frankenstein, like, Bonnie and Clyde is
eventually Bonnie and Clyde, and it starts to get a little repetitive. And so, and there are times where I'm like, I want other things to be happening. Well, here's something that's going to happen. That mob boss Lupino, he meets with the guys who killed Ida earlier, and they refer to the bride by her full name, Ida Bolinsky. And he shows off his jars of women's tongues that he collects and just keeps on public display in a bar. And he kills one of the guys because that guy is I guess belittling the situation. And he tells the other guy, "I want the bride's tongue for my collection." Bum bum bum.
I wish they actually did that sound effect when he said that.
We go back to Wiles and Malloy, and Wiles is like, the bride, she's not bad. She had a rough life, and Malloy is suspicious about the relationship he must have had with Ida. And Malloy realizes she's pieced together. Frank and the bride, they only go to towns where they can see Ronnie Reed movies in the theaters. So if you just track where Ronnie Reed's movies are playing, you can find them. So she knows they're going to Niagara Falls. Slowly they turn, step by step, to the movie theater. And Molly's like, if we catch
My wife makes reference to that all the fucking time. And she looks at me like, do you get it? And I'm like, there's no universe where I would have gotten that. I'm not familiar with like an old vaudeville bit.
It is an old vaudeville routine that most people, I certainly learned it first on watching the Three Stooges. The Three Stooges,
okay.
But it really is just an old vaudeville routine where a guy is referring to, whenever he hears the words Niagara Falls, he goes into a trance and remembers something terrible. And it always ends with him throttling the other guy who said Niagara Falls. But all he ever says what happened is, slowly I turned, step by step, inch by inch. And you don't ever learn the story of what happened. It's such a bizarre routine.
Every time it's been described to me, I'm like, I don't understand why this is hilarious.
So
It's
wait,
like-
I mean, like,
It's like no soap radio. It's really only funny if you know it's a joke, basically.
there's that Abbott and Costello thing, like the hat company. Was that just like a take on that, essentially? Do you know
I
what I'm
don't
talking
remember
about?
that one. Which one was that?
It shows up in the movie Orgy, which I know that you haven't seen,
watched
but
it yet.
you,
Yeah.
but you, it's just like it's like the Callahunga hat company or something like that. Some funny like name, Callahunga hat
It's not
company.
that funny.
and he's like selling this thing of hats, and everyone he encounters is like the Callahunga Hat Company, and they've got like some like beef with the company that ends up with them like punching a hole in the hat.
That
and
must
then
be.
so
I
he
think.
keeps.
But do they describe what the beef is or no?
I think actually they do in that case. So
Then it
it's
feels
a little
like it
different.
might be. It might be a twist on it where they're like, oh, but we're actually gonna bring some reality to it, because then the joke is that. I guess that he's shilling for a hat company that everybody hates. He's never going to sell one of these hats. But it's a little. Evan Costello would do those routines. They're all old vaudeville things, but the one where it's like they're at a restaurant and they don't want the restaurant people to know that they don't have any money. So Abbott is like, when the waitress comes by, you don't order a thing, okay? And when the waitress comes by, she goes, "Do you want something?" And Costello's like, "No, nothing." And Abbott's like, "Come on, we're here, get something." Order something. All right, I'll have a ham sandwich. And as soon as the waitress walks away, he's like, "What are you doing?" And he hits him and he's like, "Stop! I told you not to order anything." And then when the waitress comes, he goes, "Oh, forget that sandwich. Sure you don't want anything? Come on, we're here, get something to eat. You're hungry." Like, and it's one of those things where when you're watching, you're like, "Why is he doing any of this?" He just wants an excuse to hit him. Anyway, so Malloy has pieced it together, and she says, if we catch these monsters, I want credit for the bust. And Wiles is like, I can't promise that. And Frank and the bride, they're on their way to Niagara Falls. He makes up a story about how he proposed to her, but the police pull him over. The cop starts sexually harassing the bride.
Cop played by Louis Cancel Me.
Who is
What?
that? Who's
His name? Yeah, he's
That's
in.
his name?
Yeah, his name's Louis Cancel Me. He's in Killers of the Flower Moon.
That's
Yeah,
it.
he's
I
in-
recognized him, but I could not remember where I recognized him from.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Baby, too. He's always a bad guy.
Yes, he is a bad guy whose behavior would lead him to get canceled.
True. He's also in The Penguin doing bad guy shit.
And
Yeah.
ironically, in this movie, his name is Officer Goodman, and he is certainly not a good man. He's a bad man.
Yeah.
So he's
What do
sexually
you know?
harassing.
That's his name.
Yeah,
I mean, the me is spelled M-I, but yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
There you go.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it was probably like "Conchomi" at some point, you know. I don't know. So this guy he's really being a bad man, not a good man, and and Frank shoots him. The bride starts biting his tongue out in a scene that my wife found gross, and then a cop shoots the
Oh,
bride.
okay.
Frank shoots him. It's a
Put it
full
on the
stri-
poster.
And then the bride finally gets around to finishing biting the guy's tongue out, and Frank and the bride run away on foot. Now they're really.
What does she do with the tongue? Sorry.
I think she
I
just
think
spits
she
it out.
spits it out.
Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah.
thanks.
Or maybe she
She starts
I
her
don't
own
know.
collection.
Much like
Everybody's
the scene
doing
Yeah,
it.
you gotta start somewhere.
much like the
30s.
scene in the first issue of Mad Men, where Mad Man bites a guy's eye out. He then spits it out because he's like, "Ugh, I don't want this." It turns out. Anyway,
Yes, thank you,
So-
thank you, Mike Allred. If you're listening, hey, come.
Mike Hart, if you're listening, huge fan, love your
Yeah,
work.
big
Thank
fan,
you for
yeah.
making it, love it. I just saw that the big Mad Men omnibuses are in paperback now, and I'm definitely going to buy them.
That's great.
So everyone shows up at Niagara Falls. The detectives, our people, Lupino's mob assassin. Meanwhile, the bride's really hungry, but she also feels guilty about biting that guy's tongue off. And she runs out and fires her gun in the air and asks, "Was I like this before I died?" And then Wiles shows up to help her. And he calls her Ida, and he says this was his fault, and he apologizes. This is never quite fully explained. I guess you're just going to have
Yeah.
to read into it. Oh, no, actually, no, kind of is. It kind of is.
Yeah,
yeah.
we get the story.
We kind of get the story. Malloy shoots Frank. The bride shoots Wiles, says, "Don't fuck your
In the
witnesses."
foot, though.
In the foot, that's right. Frank gets jealous and they drive off, and the bride is annoyed with Frank that he lied to her about their past, basically. Now I think she kind of understands her past, which it turns out, what was it that, like, he was investigating Lupino?
He was using her as a
As a-
CI to build a case against Lupino
That's
and
right.
he was using women to infiltrate the gang, and then the case just got canceled.
Yes, but they
and
fell in
so-
love.
Yeah, and well, the case got canceled, and she came to him and was like, "Is there any way you can bring it back?" And he was like, "Yeah, I can." And using that energy, he started sleeping with her, even though he knew it wasn't going to happen.
Okay, you remembered it much better than I did. And Wiles is like, I'm resigning, but I'm going to name you as my replacement, Malloy.
I don't think you can do that.
that. Yeah.
He's allowed to do it. It's a movie.
like a fucking hedge knight over here.
Yeah, exactly.
I, a detective, have now, I've pulled out my gun and tapped it on both of your shoulders.
What's funny is
You
he kind
now
of
are
gives
the
her
new-
his badge, I think, and she uses it later, and it's like, but that has his number, right? That's attached to his name. Like it's anyway. Frank
He was a different
He's got a
time.
special deal.
Yeah.
He does, yeah.
He's the police department's special little boy.
Malloy, like how it always bugged me in Return of the Jedi when they're like, Captain Solo, you'll be leading this mission. Have you picked your team? And it's like all his buddies are like, I'll join you, Han. Yeah, me too. And it's like, yeah, the cool kids get to choose what mission they're on. Like, this is literally the most important mission the rebellion has ever had. And it's just like, yeah, who wants to be part of the party? Like, it doesn't matter what your skills are or anything. So we'll bring along a robot that has to roll in the forest. We'll bring another robot that just kind of stutter steps
That
around.
team has been responsible for all of the rebellion's
Fucking the
big
results speak
wins.
for themselves, bitch.
Yeah,
I guess so. I don't know.
that is
Meanwhile,
the A team.
Meanwhile, Luke is like, I could help you with this, but I need to talk to my dad. I need to
Been
convince
there.
my dad he's a good man, even though he's killed probably millions, if not billions,
All
of
evidence
sentients.
shows he's a bad man.
He is a
Okay,
bad
see you
man.
later, Luke.
But they're like, he
Have
can't be all
fun.
that bad. Even though he killed all those other people, he did save his son, the one person he has an investment in. So he must be a good guy, you know. Anyway, that's one of my many beefs with Star Wars.
Yeah, wow.
Wow. I'm so glad you saved it for our episode on Star Wars.
It's
we
so
haven't
rare we
talked
get to
about
talk
any
about.
Star Wars things recently.
It's so rare we get to talk about Star Wars on this podcast. Yeah. So Frank is injured. They get tracked to a drive-in theater showing another Ronnie Reed movie, and
She's
Frank
like, he's been shot. How do I heal him? The power of movies.
Yeah.
Nicole
exactly.
Kidman, lay your hands upon him.
Somehow heartbreak feels good in a place like this. And Frank admits, hey, we didn't have a relationship. You were a dead lady and I revived you. And Ida gets out of the car angrily. She throws up. She renames herself the Bride, which is a weird way for her to differentiate herself from the man, is to name herself the
Yeah.
Bride. Again, unless she is thinking of Marcel Duchamp's The Bride stripped bare by her bachelor's Eden, where the bride hovers
Probably,
above the
yeah.
bachelors. And it is very
It's
much
gotta
that
be it.
she is the one in control of that situation. Even though they're stripping her bare, they are the ones who are jostling for her support, and she's in this other realm above them. So maybe that's what she's
Why
referring
do they
to.
have a bear?
That's a question modern art critics have been debating for decades and decades. Yeah. Frank declares his love, licks her throat, proposes to her for real. She says no, and then Lupino's guy, I think, shoots Frank in the head. Was
Yeah,
that?
blast him. Yeah.
Yeah.
And now the cops are there, and she drives off with Frank, and the cops chase her, but she
And
escapes
he also,
into a
when he
cornfield.
he explained the situation, he also let her understand that Euphronius can bring a dead person back to life,
Yes,
which is an
yes.
important element. here.
Yeah, in this tightly plotted piece of work.
Thank you.
And Mary Shelley, she's like, I like the name The Bride. It's like, really? Because it seems like that, again, would be against what you were going for. And the bride takes Frank to Euphronius' house. Malloy tracks them there. And Euphronius is like, I can't bring him back to life. And the bride's like, yes, you can. I love him. And Euphronius is like, I had a man I loved, and I brought him back from the dead, and he wasn't the same, so I had to kill him again. And
Fucking Pet Cemetery, huh?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, this is
And,
some backstory she should have brought up earlier, I feel
Yeah, I
like.
think so. When she pretended that she couldn't do it, you know. And then the mob assassin shows up again, shoots the bride. The police burst in. They shoot her a lot. This is very Bonnie and
Yeah.
Clyde.
Yes.
Until Malloy is like, stop, everybody go outside. And they all listen to her because she's
Yeah.
the detective now. So she's the boss. She's the sheriff. And Mary Shelley laughs at the end of the story. And Euphronius is like, I am not going to bring them back, or at least acts like she's not going to. Outside, the cops arrest the Lupino's guy, even though he basically just did the same thing they did, which was shoot
Yeah.
the bride a bunch of times. And Malloy looks up and sees
You're
electricity.
the arrest for shooting the bride a bunch of times.
You don't have a license to kill.
You may
Like
not
we
know
do.
that in this county, shooting the bride a bunch of times is a jailable offense. Oh, but Officer Malloy. So Malloy looks up, sees electricity light up the lab, and then we see Frank and the bride, their hands move, and they hold each other's hands
Then-
as
and
Monster
then-
Mash plays.
Yes.
And then we get, and it was so funny because you hear the toon, toot, toot, toon, toot, and I was like, so this is Monster Mash, right? And it started playing.
You know,
and it was at that point. It was at that point that it really hit me. I'm like, oh, she's playing with every single Frankenstein thing that she can get her hands on. So it's like, okay, now I have no more doubts that she is aware that young Frankenstein exists, and that when he's singing "Putting on the Ritz," that he did that already in a movie. You know?
And the breakfast scene is to elicit comparisons to Frankenberry.
Yes,
now
exactly.
the thing is now normally my history with Monster
mid-credit
Mash is a
sequences.
little mixed because I often get angry when Dan McCoy out of season does Monster Mash for karaoke.
That's the best part about it. If I did it around Halloween, it wouldn't be as fun.
So there's usually a picture of me in the background frowning or doing thumbs downs. But I think here it really works.
As someone who danced to Monster Mash at my wedding, not my first song. It was not the first wedding song. That was
No,
the dance.
it was-
I only have eyes for you. But as someone who danced,
song?
the what?
I said this. It was the second song.
Yeah.
It was later in the night. Someone else told the DJ to play Monster Mash, and because they know me. But and Dan, as a wedding present, drew a picture of my wife and I dancing with the monsters. And it's framed and hangs up in our house. But then Stuart, I was going to ask about your history with mid-credit sequences. Did you see the mid-credit scene in this movie?
Elliot, what the fuck do you think?
My guess is no. That as soon as the credits started rolling, you shut the movie off.
I was on a plane, bitch. I want to start reading a book.
Yeah.
You're right. You're on a plane. You don't have the time to sit and see if there's a mid-credit scene.
No.
So the others of us may know that during the mid-credit scene, Wiles sees all these women dressed up like the bride, and they're wielding weapons, and they've captured Lupino, the gangster. And there's a pile of tongues in front of him. They're collecting their own trophies as they hunt through the men who have done them wrong. And so we see that not only have the bride and Frankenstein come back to life, but the movement she has sparked continues to live.
Whoa, that's pretty
beyond.
crazy. I should have seen
The brain
that.
attack
You
lives
should have seen
on.
that.
Yeah.
It's almost. I mean, I wouldn't say it is Sinners level. You need to sit through the credits, or else
Yes.
you miss the movie. But I will say it is getting towards that level where you're like, well, this is a scene that doesn't have to be during the credits, you know. So that's The Bride! Exclamation point. Everyone's alive. The Monster Mash exists, and women are running wild, cutting
The
people's
best
tongues
of all
out.
possible worlds.
Yeah.
Um,
What do we do next, Dan?
Oh,
Talk
what we
about The
do
Bride
next
some more?
is, well, in a way, sort of we sew up our feelings on The Bride, and where we talk about our final judgments, whether we thought this was a good, bad movie, a bad movie, or a movie we kind of like. And Kenice, if these are confusing or limiting as categories,
Yeah, I don't see Kenice being confused by the
I
category
don't
thing,
feel
but-
limited. I have
Okay.
strong opinions about it.
Okay.
yeah, we're used to them, but the guest maybe needs some clarification. But anyway, The Bride, I found it to be. I know you seem to like it, Elliot. I found it to be a bad movie. I theoretically I would like this stuff, and I do respect that Maggie Gyllenhaal took a big swing. I would rather see something like this from movies. I would rather we get more movies where studios throw a bunch of money at something a little weirder, hoping it might work. I approve of all that stuff. The movie itself, I found surprisingly boring for something that has a bunch of nutty stuff happening in it, and was irritated by the Mary Shelley stuff and just kind of drifted away over time. But Elliot, refute me.
I can't refute your own. As Robert Warshaw says, you are a person sitting in a theater watching a movie, and you can only register your own reaction to that. You cannot make yourself react in a different way. But I will say, I went into this being like, I'm not going to like this movie, and maybe that's why I ended up really liking it quite a bit. So this is a movie I liked in some way. Like, this is the kind of movie for those of you who listen to our Wuthering Heights episode. This is the kind of movie I wished Wuthering Heights was more like. A movie taking big swings that, even if it is kind of a mess. There's a lot of, it feels a little bit like someone is telling you a story and forgetting parts of the story or remembering it partway through. Oh yeah, I wanted this to happen too. Oh yeah, this thing. I forgot about this thing. But it really did take, by the end of it, I was like, this is what I wanted from, like I said, from Wuthering Heights, where it was like taking a piece of existing property and remixing it in a very different way and playing with it in different ways. And there was such a sincerity throughout it that really got to me. In some ways, I hate to say it, in some ways I think I like this more than the Del Toro Frankenstein, because that felt very straightforward and very I was not that excited by it. Whereas this one, even when it wasn't working, I was like, I'm still kind of excited by seeing what's going to happen, and eventually becomes a little repetitive. But like, I ended up really liking it, if anything, because of the things I would normally not like in a movie, which is that it's a big old mess, but it's trying lots of different things. And also, there was a time in my life when I would have been like, "That's not Frankenstein" or whatever. But at this point, I feel about those kinds of characters the same way I feel about Shakespeare plays, where like, if someone does a crazy version of a Shakespeare play, why get mad? There's going to be another one. This thing exists in other form. This is never going to become the only Frankenstein movie that people are aware of or know of. So I'm ready for someone to take a kind of a wild swing with these characters. So I ended up really liking it in ways that, I mean, it's also like, in some ways it's like, she's like, well, I took Frankenstein and I added 1930s Fred Astaire type musicals. I'm like, well, you made a movie for me, I guess. So but like, even though if you were saying to me, does this movie work? I would say no, I don't think it completely works, but I did like it. You know, in contrast to that, you know. Stuart, what do you guys think?
You go. Give Kenice the last
The
word.
space, sure.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna. I don't think I'm going to agree as wholeheartedly as Elliot, but I do. This is a movie that I kind of like. I do not think it works, but
No.
I like things. I like enough things about it, and it does remind me of like I'm going to say like it reminds me of like a weird 90s indie movie that I'm like expecting it to not, like a fucking Tank Girl or something, where I'm like, this is not going to work and it's not going to be exactly what I want. But at this point in my life, I don't want things to be what I want. You know what I mean? Like, I want to be surprised. And I feel like this movie does kind of surprise me in places, like how large chunks of it just feel like a Natural Born Killers riff. But yeah, I think, movie I kind of like.
I think, Stuart, that you and Elliot are being so kind. And I think
that's fair.
That's really nice of you to do. And I, like we've all established, like so many people who were a part of this movie, to me, it's like adding olives to an apple pie. Like you said, at this age, I don't like things that I like. And I was like, well, okay.
I don't want to be given what I want.
Yeah, yes. You don't want to be given exactly what you want. But I don't think the surprise olives in this apple pie work.
And I agree with you. I do not think it works, but I'm still like, okay.
That's
a new experience for Stuart.
I can't. It's one of those things where like, I can't deny that I enjoyed watching it, even though
you did.
I did. Even though watching it, I was like, "Well, this doesn't make any sense. Like, what's going on here?"
Yeah,
like,
the Mary Shelley stuff is like that's why.
And that's the one. That's the one aspect of it where I was like,
I feel
don't
like
this
Jessie
at all.
Buckley
Yeah.
was like, I saw that in the script and had to do it, so they kept it in. I don't know.
It definitely feels the way that this was described to me before I saw it by somebody was that it's an actor directing a movie, so the actors are given license just kind of go off and be as big as they want to be, and I can see that as a fair criticism of it. But I also kind of like that a little bit.
A plus, yeah.
I
can't.
hated it.
That is totally
I was
okay.
Like, what are these choices? Jessie Buckley, I'm sure you're a nice lady, but you're doing a lot. And there's twitching and dancing and
she's definitely doing too much. Yeah.
There's a lot happening in that. And we are feminist in that women are killing men in the streets, but we're not feminist because men, anytime she's around dudes, they're gonna try to sexually assault her. That's just what happens in this movie. She's existing, sexual assault attempt at the club. She's driving, sexual assault attempt by a police officer. Like, it's constant. And I'm like, wait, am I as a woman supposed to be enjoying this? Just seeing another woman in peril all the time? This isn't fun for me. Who is this
I think
for?
I think you're supposed to enjoy seeing those people get killed afterwards. You know.
I don't need to see her dress get torn open a bunch.
That's fair.
Like, okay, so there's the men who she doesn't know, and then there's the man who she kind of knows who reanimated her, hits her, lies to her for the entirety of their relationship, and is kind of like, hey, I fucked up your life and you don't really have other options, so I guess you have to stay with me. And she's like, I guess I do. Wow, romantic.
And like, that's her, and that's part of the thing is like, that's her like goal. Like, that's the end of the movie for her. That's her arc. And I'm like, that feels stupid.
No, I think it's
and
the movie
shallow.
It's like, yeah, the movie has like half ideas. Like it doesn't really have full ideas. It has half ideas, and it's not. I especially considering and maybe it's dealing with the fact that this is not, it's kind of original subject matter, even though it's pulling from those things. Whereas her last movie, The Lost Daughter, was so much more coherent, and it's a much smaller scale movie, but it's also based on one piece of work, you know. And so maybe that it was easier then for her to build off of that. I hadn't read the original story, so I don't know. But it does feel like there's something very again, it's something that I admire a little bit. But you're right, it doesn't work, which is that like it's just throwing out kind of half baked thoughts and not really completing them or thinking about them.
And I think to defend Elliot and I, just for our opinions for one moment,
I think you
because
guys are amazing. I like you guys so much.
and I'm saying I'm also saying I think you're right, but I think Elliot and I are a little bit biased by the fact that we are watching a movie that is bad for the podcast, but it's bad in a way that we're not used to seeing Hollywood movies be bad.
Our brains have been warped.
We have suffered a brain attack.
I definitely cannot. Again, like you can't remove your experience of a thing from the context of it, right? I think this is in the context also of the last couple of movies we watched for this podcast were Wuthering Heights and The Mandalorian and Grogu. And those are movies where I'm like, I wanted them to be like, here's a new thing. And instead I did not get a new thing. So to get a new thing, even if it's a new thing that doesn't really work and has a lot of problems, I'm like, what's a new thing? And in a way, it's like, this is the negative comparison, but it's like all those people who were like, I don't like Trump, but he's different. He's new, you know. But I would not call this the Trump of movies.
I don't think this is a new thing, but I believe it's a thing that is the whatever it's like rewarming or like recooking is different than what we're used to getting.
Yes, and there's such theater kid energy throughout
the in the back of the freezer.
That's what it is.
This movie is suffused with theater kid energy, which is something that I have come to appreciate more and more as I get older, and which I found when I was a student at NYU and was surrounded by theater kids was not an energy I particularly cared for. When I'm trying to have lunch and they're just getting up and shouting songs from Rent at the next table over. And I'm like,
that sounds awful.
Can I just have lunch without counting the minutes in a year?
You're getting bullied by theater kids, Elliot.
Exactly. It was more like
sirs.
It wasn't bullied so much as psychological torture by theater kids. But now I feel like I'm like, you know what? That's an energy I can appreciate more as long as it's happening on the other side of the screen and not right in front of me when I'm eating. You know.
Probably because a lot of the business now is run by executives who have negative theater kid creative energy.
Yes, well, that's true too. So
I would love if they leaned into that. Like if instead of it being a 2-hour and 7-minute movie that's trying to be all these things, if it had been almost like a visual album where you have these dance sequences and movie weird freakouts and then like ladies shooting people in the street, I would have been more interested in that than
I think this would have worked.
There.
It would have worked much better, to be honest, as a play. I think you could get away with that stuff more as a play. If I had seen this, I can very clearly see when I was younger. My grandmother used to take me to the theater a lot. She had subscription tickets to a lot of theater companies, and we'd go see new plays that often did not work. They were often like a little bonkers, and I could so see her taking me to a play of exactly this, and me walking out kind of liking it and her hating it, and then us spending dinner talking about why we did or didn't like it. And I'm like, but I think it would have worked better in that way than it kind of does as a film. Yeah.
Well, also pre-release, this was sort of, there was all this word like, oh, it's a full-on musical.
Yes.
And it really isn't.
No,
but if it was, it would have worked a lot better, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
That would have been the fantastic element that really like pushes it in a way that's like, oh, I feel what this is, you know, like it's allowing for this bigness, maybe.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And I think it would have been good if there was more bigness in Frankenstein himself, who is not as big as he usually is. Yeah.
You want to get Godzilla-sized Frank.
Yeah, put some shoulder pads on him or...
That's Frankenstein Conquers the World size Frankenstein where he fights Baragon. That's too big.
Yeah, like put some football shoulder pads under his coat so he looks really big.
Give him some big boots. Give him some boots that lift him up.
Yes.
Come on, boots.
Lift us up where we belong.
If we're Frankenstein and we're not tall enough.
Hey, are you playing a video game right now?
Maybe you put on a podcast while grinding in an RPG.
Or maybe you just don't want to hear that boss fight music one more time.
Been there. I'm Maddie Myers.
I'm Jason Schreier.
And I'm Kirk Hamilton. We're the hosts of Triple Click, a video game podcast.
A podcast you can listen to while you do other things.
Like driving or cooking or playing video games.
On Triple Click, we share our thoughts on the latest games.
And breaking news out of the video game industry.
And we also talk about other stuff besides games.
So while you're doing something else, make sure to check out Triple Click.
Listen on MaximumFun.org or wherever you find your podcasts.
This episode of The Flophouse is sponsored by Hims. Look, if you are anything like me, two things are true. One, you are a busy person and you've got things to do and places to be. And also, two, you are losing your hair. So you don't really have time to sit in a waiting room, getting hair loss treatment, talking to somebody in person. You're a busy man or woman who's losing hair. You want to do something about it on your schedule. That's why Hims makes expert care accessible on your schedule so you can skip the line and focus on feeling like yourself again, yourself being someone who has hair. Hims offers convenient access to a range of prescription hair loss treatments with ingredients that work, including chews, oral medications, serums, I love serums, and sprays. There are doctor-trusted ingredients like finasteride and minoxidil that can stop further hair loss and regrow hair in as little as 3 to 6 months. There are no hidden fees, no surprise costs, just real personalized care on your schedule. As a bebalding individual, this is something that I appreciate, is the chance to be less bebalding, but also to do it in my busy lifestyle. For simple online access to personalized and affordable care for hair loss, ED, weight loss, and more, visit hims.com/flop. That's hims.com/FLOP for your free online visit. hims.com/flop. Individual results may vary based on studies of topical and oral minoxidil and finasteride. Featured products include compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription required. See website for full details, restrictions, and important safety information.
We have a pair of Jumbotrons for you.
I'm seeing double here. 2 Jumbotrons?
This first Jumbotron is directed at Bert, and it is from Luke. And it goes like this. Robert, congrats on finishing law school. Love you, man. Now behold the power of money as I make Dan speak. It is I, Dan McCoy, and this is my real opinion. Talking heads are overrated, and I really only know maybe that one song about arson and that other one about wacky murderers. Also, I really did like the introduction of Walter to the Muppets. Well,
oh, damn.
You cruelly exposed how I will dance for your dollars.
Yep. That Dan, just like everyone, is just a little monkey with a little organ that he's grinding, holding out a can that he hopes you throw a penny into.
Sitting here in the old content factory.
It hurts my heart. It hurts my heart, but
Now,
I did it. I did it for you.
You'd think you'd need to use AI to make Dan say things that he doesn't believe, but no, Dan will do it. You know, he'll do that job.
I mean, there are limits. I mean, if I object to something morally, we won't be taking that Jumbotron.
Only one way to find out. Jumbotron users, find out what Dan won't say for money.
Okay, I don't like this game. Anyway, but you know what? The Jumbotron taketh away, but the Jumbotron also giveth. Listen to this next Jumbotron. This message is for Dan McCoy, and it is from Jim L. Happy birthday month, or maybe belated birthday to Dan, the beating heart of the Flophouse. I know Dan has trouble accepting praise. Too bad, Dan. On behalf of all floppers, many thanks for the steady hand and hard work it takes to keep the podcast going, and for the hours-ish of joy this nonsense provides every week. Many happy returns.
How sweet.
Thank you for that. I will also be paid to say nice things to myself.
You know, Dan's not very good at accepting praise, and I think sometimes Elliot and I are a bit scant with it. So, Dan, you are great, and you are the beating heart, and you also were born at a date that was recent.
He's only doing this because he knows I'm not good at accepting it.
And you look very handsome today, and I'm proud of you for taking kickboxing classes at Jiggle Studio.
Thank you. That is a true thing. That actually happened.
Yeah, I didn't invent it whole cloth. I'm not that creative.
All right. Well, let's get back to the show.
Wow. Dan's got to get off the Dan topic, I guess. I thought we were going to peel open this onion.
Before we move on, I wanted to take a moment to tell people that Joke Farming, How to Write Comedy and Other Nonsense, my joke writing book, from the University of Chicago Press is now available in audiobook form. Let's say you don't want to read it with your eyes. Let's say you want to listen to my mellifluous tones as they read the book to you while you do other things. Now you can do just that. Joke Farming, the audiobook, as read by me, the author, but I didn't read it that way, is available wherever you can buy and download audiobooks. Please do buy it, listen to it, share it. It has all of my joke writing wisdom in one place for you, and I hope you enjoy.
Let's answer some letters from listeners. Oh, I'm banging my microphone with my phone. So excited am I about these letters.
Double phone, microphone, and telephone.
Thanks for calling it out, Elliot.
Phone meets phone.
Wow.
And only one can win.
Whoever had that on their Flophouse
Fucking Polymarket
play
that,
along
yeah.
card.
Yep.
I guess you win some box tops. How does it work?
Yeah, you win the box tops, Dan. That's the
well,
big
then
prize.
you trade in the box tops for Flophouse script.
There's a lot
the
of steps. You go to the Flophouse company store where you get a Flophouse raffle ticket.
You laugh, but people like the steps of it. They
Yeah.
like
It's like
Yeah.
a quest that you're on.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Very boring quest. Yeah.
Spoken like somebody who has never bought a beach towel using Camel Cash.
You're right. I speak a lot of things as someone who's never bought a beach towel using Camel Cash. Roughly everything I say is spoken in that persona. Yeah.
Okay, this letter.
Does the beach towel have the camel logo on it?
Yeah, it has fucking Joe Camel looking cool as hell.
He's
cool as
smoking as the camel.
Yeah, and he's got
Fascinating.
sunglasses on.
Sure.
He looks
a
like
giant penis.
he
yeah.
looks like if Chester Cheetah was a camel,
Mhm.
and he smoked and said just ate.
Scrotum candle.
Yeah,
Yeah,
with
scrotum candle. A scrotum candle is what they have at Moop, which is the male version of Goop. That's what Gwyneth Paltrow's husband sells. Yeah. So do you think Chester Cheetah and Joe Camel know each other?
Of course they do.
There's got.
They're
I'm imagining.
They're part of the like mascot pussy posse.
I'm
They're on
imagining
the
like
riot
It's a
together.
mascot pussy posse.
Yeah.
I'm imagining a Tom
That's
of
a good
Finland
question.
style drawing of Chester Cheetah and Joe Camel having sex with each other. Is that a thing that exists? They're both kind of
don't
have that
spirit
sunglasses biker aesthetic, you know? So
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure it's out there.
I guess send that to Dan McCoy,
You don't
123
have
Fifth
to.
Street.
I believe it. I can imagine if I want to.
Yeah. That's what the Tom of Finland in the Zootopia world would be drawing, that kind of stuff.
Wow.
Yeah.
This letter, that's what we're doing. Just reminding everyone.
Yeah.
This letter is from Kevin, last name withheld, who writes, I write you at 3 a.m. during my nightly baby watching shift for my month-old newborn. I am currently in the thick of it and getting very little sleep.
I've been there.
I find myself exploring my hobbies during the darkest of hours from 1 a.m. to 8 a.m. Beyond listening or re-listening to your podcast, can each of you recommend any movies, shows, video games, or books that are easy to pick up and put down at the drop of a hat or sound of a poop, and aren't so intense that I will feel the need to continue them when I transition to my sleep shift?
The sound of a poop.
Flopping, Kevin.
Now that I know the context, I could recommend the movie I used to watch in pieces when my second son was a baby. Yeah, which was Stalker, the Tarkovsky movie, which I watched very slowly. Yeah,
That's a lot.
but I will say, but before I knew the context, so I would say a couple movies that are very easy to pick up and put down because they're just scenes, they're not full length stories, are some of the movies that Roy Andersson, the Swedish director, has made. Songs from the Second Floor is one of them. You, the Living is another. And they're just they're almost sketch movies, but they're really well made. And each scene is shot from one fixed angle, and an entire set has been built around the camera, basically. And they're really amazing to look at. And some of them are really funny. And so those are movies where you can you watch a little bit, turn it off. You don't have to carry the story forward because there is no story. It's just one scene after another. But they're good, and it's all in Swedish, so you can watch it with the sound off if you want, with subtitles, so you don't wake the baby. And when it comes to books, you can pick up and put down. I just read The Life of Samuel Johnson, and most of that book is just Samuel Johnson and I went out to dinner, and he said these things, and that's it. So you can just pick it up and put it down. It's like you're hanging out with your friend Sam Johnson for a little bit, and then you put it down and see him again later. So
Yeah.
What do you guys
when
have
it,
to
when it
recommend?
comes to like reading things that you can pick up and put down, I'm a big fan of. Oh my lord, my brain just shut down.
Mm-hmm.
It just
Were you going to
fell
say The
apart.
Life of Samuel Johnson?
Yes, I did. Yeah. No. I was going to say the horror comics collections by Junji Ito.
Oh,
Perfect. Yeah, they're great.
Oh,
They're
yeah,
nice
yeah,
and short.
That's what we want to
stuff
read
that's
in the
definitely
middle
good for
of the
reading in the middle of the night when you've got a baby to keep safe. Yeah.
Yeah. You'll start seeing.
Sure, this is
you're
the
gonna
opposite
start
of a
seeing
safe space.
odd spirals in your baby's.
His poop is in a spiral.
Oh,
That'd be so
I'm
concerning.
Those are
sorry.
good
Have you-
ones.
Leapt upon
Have
you.
we
you-
talked
have you-
about the Junji Ito cat comics? Those are the best. The
I don't
ones,
think I've seen those.
I think, yeah, they're really great.
Well, they put.
because
Have you seen? Did you read the
Have you
one?
seen Judge Ito's cat comics?
Yeah, after the OJ case, we started doing cat
He just
comics.
started
Yeah.
doing the cat
yeah,
strip.
Yeah, it's called
he stands
Judge
in front
Cat.
of a brick wall and he's like, "Hey, cats."
Stuart, have you read the Jujito one where it's the thing that turns people into like gas-powered mechanical crabs or something, and there's
Yeah.
a shark with robot legs that's running around eating people? That's a crazy one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's an idea. If you're gonna read something, in the middle of the night that you want to be sort of bite-sized, why not read something that's already sort of chopped up and bite-sized? This is heavily influenced by me looking over at my own bookshelf, but like, get yourself. If you're a listener to this show, you probably like movies. You could get yourself like
I
an
hope
old
so.
collection. You could get yourself an old collection of Pauline Kael or Roger Ebert like reviews, something like that. There's like some great books that Bleeding Skull put out that I liked about horror movies of the 80s and horror movies of the 90s, where you can just kind of dip in and read some blurbs about things. And it doesn't take a lot of mental energy, but you're like half learning. You're learning silly stuff. Kenice, do you have any ideas?
Sure. As a person without children, that seems really tough what you're going through. And thank you for your service, I guess. It's great that other people do that. I'm so happy for you guys.
Keeps the human race going.
Yeah, thanks, Elliot.
I mean, whether that's a good thing or a bad thing,
Yeah.
yeah.
I am a very big dorky lady, and I have started listening to Stephen Fry's. He has one on Greek mythology,
Oh,
Greek
yeah.
heroes, the Troy, and now the Odyssey. And the stories are quite short because they're the stories of Greek mythology. And it's just a British, I listen to the audiobooks. It's just a British man kind of chill. He tells you about some stuff that didn't really happen, but you get it.
Yeah.
And it's nice. It's really nice.
Yeah. Hey, that makes me think of like just Stephen Fry being mentioned. Pick up a Jeeves and Wooster collection. They're short little stories.
Yeah.
Make you laugh. Anyway, this is from.
Yeah, that's how I feel about Friends. Just watch the whole series run of Friends.
Yeah.
Short little stories that'll make you
Gotta
laugh.
make you laugh. Look, gotta make
You
you
don't have
laugh.
to be invested the whole time.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah, why not? This next letter that is from W. Seth Hansiak, first name withheld.
Oh, okay.
Breaking the pattern here.
Interesting choice.
I
Yeah.
recently watched the decidedly mid horror film Tarot, which was a bad movie until a bit of dialogue made me laugh out loud.
All right.
And the dialogue is, the death card can mean an ending or a beginning, but in this case, it just meant death. Transforming it into a good bad movie.
Yeah. That's a line that's a podcaster line where they're like, I just want to say something.
When that same line was used as the gotcha final girl smack talk line, I literally cheered. What line of dialogue transformed a movie for you in either direction? Keep on flopping. From W.
Let's
Seth.
see. That's the sound the bear makes was pretty good.
Oh, yeah. That's just the sound the bear makes.
What was that? Which one was that from?
One missed call, I think.
Yeah.
It's just the sound the bear makes.
I thought this was a more interesting letter than I had a great answer for it, because I don't know that I feel like a single line is transformative to me in that way.
Usually not enough to really make or break a movie. I couldn't really think of anything for this when I was thinking about it earlier, but I've talked about this before, that the movie Hell in the Pacific, the final seconds of that movie ruin that movie. And otherwise, up to then, I think it's a really strong movie. And then a choice of how to end it, literally like it's the last 30 seconds of the movie. I'm like, well, this movie's bad now. So
I mean, there's
that kind of stuff happens sometimes.
What, does like Walter Matthau make a face at the camera or
No,
something?
that's the perfect way to end a movie, Stuart. There's no better way to end the movie.
No, that's great. There's certain line readings that stick with me that like elevate a movie that I already like, that I'm like, I mean, maybe not elevate, but like stick with me forever. Like, obviously in Clue, there's no funnier part in Clue than flames on the side of my face.
Yeah, that's the best part. Yeah.
A way that like just like brings the movie up to a different level. A movie I already like.
What a banger.
I already love is Romancing the Stone, but Stuart and I always often talk about
You and your sister.
Joan Wilder. You and your sister can go. That's a line reading I love. I just love to think about it. But I don't have it doesn't shift everything for me.
Yeah. When you read that, I thought of, would that it were so simple.
Oh, yeah.
Me and my sister say that to each other all the time, and that made me lock into that movie way more than I had been before.
Yeah, no, totally. Stuart's thinking,
No,
but if he doesn't have anything,
I don't got anything.
we can
It's
move
okay.
on.
That's okay. You don't have to force it.
We're allowed to.
We're
It's
allowed
our
to not
show.
have an
Just
answer.
cut me out, Alex. Cut me out so I don't mess
Of
up
the
the flow.
show?
Yeah.
No, he's important.
You know what? Yeah, he's not pulling his weight. Let's forget
Yeah.
about him.
Yeah, I provide a nice low bar for everyone else to look better by.
Yeah.
That's what, yeah.
Hey,
No.
let's recommend some movies that may maybe a better use
Oh,
of your
why
time. If you have a limited time, maybe
We all have limited
prioritize
time.
these. It's true.
That's what makes life so sweet, Elliot.
That's
well,
true.
My
If we
limited
lived forever,
time.
it would lose its savor and flavor. Yeah, exactly.
Savor and flavor. That's one of those great lines I'll remember from this podcast.
It switched it in my mind. Okay. So, pardon me.
Yeah. Okay.
You're
Just as
choked
I
up.
was about to give my recommendation, I had to burp. I was texting you about this movie, Elliot. Because it was on Criterion, I rewatched Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
You were
For the
texting me
first
about
time.
that. That's true.
Yeah, for the first time since I think I was like a teenager, maybe. Like I watched this movie,
Mhm.
and it's a movie that, by the time I was watching it, it came out the year before I was born. By the time I was watching it, it was already like enshrined in like, this is like classic science fiction movie. This is classic early blockbuster, like the real blockbuster wave, and seeing it as a kid, I had certain expectations of that were maybe not fulfilled. Like the movie is kind of a weird movie if you're looking for like what we now think of.
I mean, we
like,
just talked about The Bride, so like Close Encounters is not that weird.
No,
but-
I know, but like if you're talking about like big blockbuster entertainment, it doesn't offer the same like simple satisfactions maybe that you expect, and I think that meant that it was a movie that I didn't quite get as a kid. It's also speaking to like being older and like being presented with like something new in life that you didn't ever expect to like be part of your life. But I don't know.
Yeah,
Watching
it's
it this
like
time
an affair movie. It's like he's having an affair with aliens.
with aliens.
Yeah.
and it's
I
brought
mean,
the
there's
savor
no,
and
like-
flavor back into his life.
There's
yeah.
no like wisecracking kid characters. There's no like animated dinosaurs.
Well, and what you're saying about it being like an affair with aliens, it speaks to the fact that like this guy's not acting like great towards his family.
No.
Like this guy is going nuts. He's scaring his family. And we sort of understand why, because we are also curious about the aliens, but he's not handling it in a way that you're like, oh, what a great guy.
No, I mean, spoiler, it ends with him abandoning Earth and his
Yeah.
family to be with these aliens. So like it is a
but like, come on.
come on. Well, but that's the thing is, and Steven Spielberg
His
has talked in
family are
interviews.
kind of duds, right?
Well,
Terry Garr? Terry
come on,
Garr,
come on.
sir.
That's Dustin Hoffman level mistreatment of Terry Garr, sir.
Wow.
As seen in the movie Tootsie. So Steven Spielberg has talked about how, I mean, I love Close Encounters. I think it's great. And Steven Spielberg has talked about how that's the movie of the man he was then. And now as the man this is something he said years later after he had a family. He's like, yeah, I couldn't get on a spaceship and fly away and leave my family behind. But as a young man, yes, sure, cool. Like, let's leave it all behind. Yeah. But
well, I think part of my switching around was like
there's also something very 70s about it. Yeah, man, go with the aliens.
Yeah,
Come on.
do what you want.
Be you.
No, I mean, like, it has like a realism and open-endedness that I responded to more now. It is like, but also I was thinking like, oh, I saw Close Encounters, back when everyone had tiny televisions, and now technology, has come down in price so much that like people can have big, beautiful like screens that like show a movie like Close Encounters in a way that's like, oh, right, that's why it's so impressive. Like, this is a gorgeous movie. Considering
the probably whatever digital version you were looking at, it probably looks better than it would have looked if you had seen it in a theater when it first came out, because you'd still be seeing it being projected by probably some teen idiot who doesn't know what he's doing, and it's there's a lot of babies crying in the theater, and probably the screen is like
getting roasted over here.
The screen is all stained and ripped.
Catching a stray.
No, I'm just kidding.
Anyway,
I'm just kidding. Projectionists are great.
It's not a surprising recommendation that Close Encounters was, but I enjoyed it. I loved revisiting. Stuart, what would you recommend?
So I've been traveling a bunch, and I haven't gotten to go to the movies, and I've been desperate to see a certain liminal space horror movie, but I have not seen it yet. I'm seeing it this week, so instead I'm going to recommend a different recent liminal space horror movie, and that is Exit 8, the Japanese movie based on a video game, and it is awesome. I really loved it. It's about a guy who's on a subway train, and he gets off at a station that's unfamiliar to him, and he kind of loses his bearings, and then suddenly he realizes that he is trapped in some kind of weird loop of corridors in this subway station. And there are some rules to it, and the idea that it is adapted from a video game that I've never played, so I don't know much about it. But I feel like it's a pretty novel concept of adaptation, and I thought it was really interesting and fun, and it manages to be unsettling and scary without relying on gore or really many like traditional scares. I thought it was really great.
I also watched a liminal horror movie recently, but it was a horror movie about the liminal state of old age. That's right. I'm talking about The Straight Story, starring Richard Farnsworth, which I thought I had seen this movie, and I didn't remember it particularly well, so I'm wondering if maybe I didn't see it when it first came out. But it's on Criterion Channel right now, and it's such a great, sweet movie, and it's so like, it feels like the same way that Spike Lee made Inside Man to be like, I can make these kinds of movies as well as anybody. I just don't want to. That's why I'm not making them. It feels like David Lynch is like, I can make a movie without weird stuff in it. I just don't want to. Look at how well I do it. Now I'm back to my own stuff. But it feels so much like a David Lynch movie without falling on the like tropes that have that people expect from David Lynch movies. And Richard Farnsworth's so great in it. It has its own kind of tempo that you fall into, and the way that the main character unfolds over time and you learn more about him in little pieces and things, just really great. And watching it, I was so, I admired so much how they didn't try to like movie up the story, that it's like, the story is this guy who he's an old man. He can't drive a car anymore. His brother lives 350 miles away or 370 miles away, and his brother had a stroke and he wants to go see him. So the only way he can get there is to ride his riding mower, for hundreds of miles, and just the people he meets along the way. And it would be so easy to make this movie and put in like, and this other person has to come along with him, and they have to learn to get along, or people hear about it and suddenly he becomes famous, and there's a media circus following him, or he gets mistaken for a criminal or something like that. But it's none of that.
That happens.
Yeah, it's just about this old man like having to deal with being old and kind of just having interactions with people along the way, but none of them are like so incredibly dramatic that they become what the movie is about. And I just it's a really beautiful movie. But you watch it and the whole time you're like, yeah, this is a David Lynch movie. Like, it's also really funny. It feels like one of his movies, but without having to do with dreams or weird sex stuff. So that's the straight story. I highly recommend it. It's technically a G-rated movie, but I would not recommend showing it to kids because they will be bored by it.
Yes.
I've never seen that movie, and I'm going to be honest, vulnerable. I don't really like a lot of David Lynch movies, but the way that
maybe
you
this is
pitched
the one
that,
for you.
this may be the one for me.
I would say try it. It's definitely, it's at his kind of pace. It's like the kinds of characters that he deals with sometimes, but it is not, but there's nothing strange or supernatural or dreamlike about it. It is just like, if there's anything dreamlike about it, it's just kind of like, you kind of get into a dream trance state, just driving a riding lawnmower through Midwestern states where there's not a lot going on. But it's one of those movies too where you watch it and afterwards you're like, oh, it makes me feel good about kind of like people, like people, that people like to be around people. And anyway, it's really good. I do recommend it. Yeah. Just be ready for a lot of shots, like kind of drone or I guess it would have been helicopter shots at the time. Helicopter shots of cornfields. You're going to see a fair amount of those.
Make me feel like I'm at home. Kenice, do you have a recommendation that you want to offer?
Sure. Based on this movie, I thought of a Frankenstein-based movie that I enjoyed more. And
Impossible.
This one is very silly, and it's not trying to say anything about the nature of feminism in this country. Lisa Frankenstein. It's a young girl who accidentally brings back a Lord Byron type guy, and
I can't believe that's his name.
Yep,
sure, a Lord Byron type guy, Arthur Lord Byron type guy.
Yeah, it's something like that. And then they kind of fall in love, and he has to get a penis.
As you do.
Yeah,
Part of the process.
it's funny, it's silly, it's quirky, and it doesn't take itself nearly this seriously as The Bride.
Yeah,
That's
it's a
one I've
fun
been meaning
one.
to watch for a while, and I haven't gotten around to watching it yet. So you know what, Kenice? You and me are going to trade movies. We're going to watch each other's recommendations.
I'm going to write you and be like, I loved it. Or, wow, I'm really disappointed in you personally for recommending this to me.
Your taste in movies determines your value as a human.
Yeah, exactly. That's
The
the
internet
premise
has
of
taught us anything.
the premise of this podcast in some ways. Yeah.
Well,
It's true. The internet has taught us that the only thing that matters about you is the things you like or don't like, and nothing about your intrinsic qualities otherwise. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I bet that's all my therapy sessions are about.
Kenice, thank you so much for being with us. Before we go, is there anything you would like to plug? I looked it up. This should be released on July the 11th.
Okay.
If that affects plugging.
I was going to plug the same thing unless you said it came out in September. I want to plug
Your
the
Best Deal Day
Hawkeye
show?
draft.
We're just going to make it in time for your Best Deal Day show. Yeah. So the
would.
Hawkeye draft. Tell us about it.
So the Hawkeye draft is a comedy competition of thirst, wherein comedians on stage create teams of pop culture Hawkeyes, and that's gender neutral. It's also irrespective of if they actually existed, if they're cartoons, if they're historic figures, whatever. And they create a team of Hawkeyes in different categories, and the audience votes on who has created the hottest team. This time the theme is first crush. So we're going to be looking at who we had crushes on when we were younger.
Robin Hood, Cartoon Fox. Yeah.
That Cartoon Fox is on the poster for the show.
Yeah.
Enough people have said the
Yeah.
Fox from Robin Hood changed me.
Someone recently said to me, they go, Zootopia probably pretty much started that furry stuff. And I'm like, no, sir, not at all. It goes back much farther.
Absolutely.
We haven't even started talking about the live-action Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie.
If you're into April in that, she's, or I guess
Raphael is a big thing in that movie.
Gadget Hack Wrench.
Yeah, sure.
that's his name.
No,
that's
thinking of
the
another-
mouse from
That's the mouse from Rescue Rangers.
Rescue
She had a
Rangers.
purple jumpsuit.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
She was like the girl next door crush. If you had a
the
crush
mouse
on
next door.
cartoon mouse, yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense to me.
We're going to get into some deep waters now, so let's start talking.
But that is on August 23rd at Littlefield at 7 p.m. You can get your tickets now, but you can also, because this is built off of a fantasy sports draft and those people have stats, to build stats, we have an online survey where you can vote on the hotness of different figures. And then we use that in our rankings. So please visit Hawkeye Draft on Instagram for information about that survey, information about tickets, and the cultural work that we're doing to investigate what people find hot and why.
This is right up my alley. I love it.
Yes.
Yeah. Dan, see if Gomez Adams is on there.
I will after.
I'm adding him after this. I don't think he is.
He should be. I mean, they're
Raul Julia.
Yeah.
Come on.
I'm just saying there's other Gomez Adamses, and they're all pretty
I
attractive.
know, but come on.
John Aston is a very hot Gomez Adams in some ways.
He's
He
a
can do
hotter.
his way,
He's a
but
hotter Edgar
Raul
Allan
Julia
Poe.
He's not
is,
hotter than Raul Julia, sure. I mean, Raul Julia was M. Bison for yeah.
Yeah. For me, it was Tuesday. Okay. Well, this has been a delight. It's also been the Flophouse. We'd like to thank our network. It's called Maximum Fun. If you go to MaximumFun.org, you can check out a lot of other great podcasts, comedy and culture, artist-owned, listener-supported. You're going to hear that after the theme song, but I said it now, too.
Wow.
Thank
Little
you to
preview.
Alex Smith,
Yeah.
our producer.
Oh, my ears are hearing double.
4 outros. Thank you to our producer, Alex Smith. He goes by the name Howell Doughty on the internet. You can listen to his music or his podcast or check out a Twitch stream. A lot of great stuff that he does. Get his merch. Why not? Hey, and speaking of plugs, why don't we plug some of our own stuff like the newsletter, which I don't mention quite enough.
No,
if
you
you
don't
go to
mention
the
that, yeah.
if you go to the website, we have a newsletter. You can subscribe, and a couple times a month you'll get updates on what we're up to in a more extensive form, and there'll be something funny in there too that's not just advertising. And also, there's a Discord. People know about the Facebook and the Instagram and stuff, but they don't often know that there's a Discord. Check that out. I wish I could remember how you get there. I decided to mention it, and I hadn't done the research.
So, listeners, ask Dan's grandchildren how to get onto the Discord.
I'm sure it's not that hard to figure out. But for the Flophouse, I have been Dan McCullough.
I'm Stuart Wellington.
And I'm Elliot Kalin, and we've been joined by
Kenice Mobley.
Bye.
Bye.
Au revoir.
Bride.
I got questions about Hawkeye Draft now.
I will answer every single one. I'm going to try not to be too enthusiastic about it.
Okay. Yeah, please don't.
Why?
I'm just going to tamp it down.
The Flophouse is the chill zone.
Yeah, exactly. We're all trying to outcool each other on this one.
Meh, The Bride, whatever.
Not really the kind of movie that you have a strong opinion about.
Exclamation point, get that out of here.
Put an ellipsis on the end of that.
Please.
Okay. Let's start recording.
We did.
Just to see if we remember how we do it, you know? Well, the actual show. Hold on. Let me... Okay.
This is a classic Dan. Okay, let's start. All right, how do we...
My brain goes ahead of its actual capabilities. Is the problem.
I think I got a hot one, guys.
Oh,
Go for
okay.
it.
A hot one. Great. Hold on. We should have light in here. What am I doing?
No, it should be dark.
Just like the world of the bride.
Wow.
There we go.
Yeah.
That's
Talk
better.
about a dark universe.
It's the fucking 1930s, dude.
It was a very dark time. Yeah.
Yeah.
You had monsters running around,
Yeah.
trying to go on
Like,
dates.
like Jake Gyllenhaal.
One monster. Like,
Yeah, what he did to Taylor.
Yes. Thank you. Finally, somebody spoke up.
If only
All right.
if only that had been expressed creatively in some way, but it's just never happened, you know.
Again, I can't stress enough, Taylor Swift's concerts in Melbourne made my hotel costs go very high, so I wish he stole 1 million scarves from this bitch.
that would give her
That
a
was
million
scheduling
albums.
issue
I think
on
do
your
it.
part. I don't know. Anyway.
She can afford it.
Maximum Fun.
A worker-owned network
of artist-owned shows.
Supported
directly
by you.